Hindi ko maintindihan, ano ba ang urgency ng prangkisa na ibibigay sa sa ABS-CBN? Tapos na yung termino nila. Negosyo, dapat hihinto. Ngayon, ang urgency ba niyan ay dahil kailangan malaman ng ating mga kababayan ang nangyayari sa ating bansa? My God! The nooks and corners of this republic is rich, not by television but by radio. Our people know what's going on all over the country because of radio. More than ABS, CBN, and GMA7 or PDP or the government station or all the other TV stations. So the question of communication and information is not an issue. The issue here is we must comply with the Constitution. We must comply with the laws. We must follow the rule of law in the country so that huwag naman parang linalaro yung saligang batas natin. Otherwise, we will become a banana. But now my position is the franchise of ABS-CBN is a law. And that law describes the privileges, the businesses, the activities, and the powers that the franchisee can exercise. And that law also circumscribes or establishes the limiting date when the privilege can be exercised by the grantee. In the case of ABS-CBN, the law says your privilege to engage in the business of mass media broadcasting will end on May 4, 2020, period. It cannot go beyond that, and everything must stop. Congress must exercise the power of legislation either to terminate it really as it has been terminated by the law itself or extend it. No other power in our government has the right to extend it a minute or a second. The law must be obeyed, the Constitution must be enforced against anybody in this country.
Not use the word provisional. It only uses the word provisional in the explanatory note. Section 6 calls, Section 1 describes the nature and scope of franchise. There is nothing there which says that it is provisional. Section 6, the term of the franchise, and I read, the franchise shall be in effect until October 2nd, October.
Senator Frank, let me just interrupt you because your line got cut off. Can you repeat that from the maybe five minutes backward?
All right, I'm sorry. Okay. First, my submission.
Sorry, meeting is resumed.
Okay, can I be heard, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. First, my submission is that the power of Congress to grant a franchise is plenary. The only limitations are those found in the Constitution. And what are these? Number one, origination. It must come from the House. And number two, the term shall not be for more than 50 years. And therefore, as pointed out by Senator Enrile, the Senate can do anything, amend, repeal, etc. Now, so I will repeat, there is no limitation on the plenary power of Congress except on the origination and period. Now, the period, an issue is being raised about the characterization of the franchise as provisional. I wish to point out that the House bill, as presently crafted under House Bill under the House Bill 6732, there is nothing in the body of the law which says that it is a provisional franchise. In Section 1, defines the nature and scope of the franchise. Nothing there indicates that it's a provisional. Number two, on the term of the franchise, it simply says shall remain in effect until October 31, 2020. Now, it is mentioned in the explanatory note, but the governing portion of the bill, if it becomes law, is the body of the law, not the explanatory note. But even if the explanatory note is argued to be part of the interpretation of the law, it doesn't depart from the fact that the Congress has plenary powers over the franchise, and the fact that it is characterized as provisional does not run afoul with the constitutional plenary power of Congress to grant a franchise. It can impose conditions. Congress can impose conditions because it is an exercise of the sovereign power of the people to grant the franchise. It can impose conditions on the franchise. That cannot be questioned. Insofar as the urgency is concerned, Mr. President, it is our respectful submission that it is addressed to the wisdom of Congress, whether or not the issue is urgent, but that has not gotten to. But insofar as the Constitution is concerned, that is not an issue. As I would repeat, the matter of urgency is a policy issue addressed to the better judgment and the good judgment of Congress. Thank you very much, Mr. President.